So on This Iberian Life, we talk about destinations that English speakers might be interested in buying in Spain and Portugal. And so today's conversation is going to be really interesting because we are going to have a comparison with two experts on two very popular beach areas. So we have the Algarve in Portugal and Marbella in Spain. So I'm speaking with Agnieszka Wojt from
Hello.
Marbella and Bente Santos from Albufeira in the Algarve. So Marbella, Spain,
Morning.
Albufeira, Portugal. Thanks for talking with me today.
Thank you too. Thank you for the invitation.
Yep. So let's start opening, our first shot on the conversation. Let's talk about Bente, why is the Central Algarve the destination for an expat looking to start a new life or invest in Spain or Portugal?
Good morning from Lisbon. I'm Bente Santos. I'm an expat. I'm Danish and I've lived in the Algarve for 20 years. So I work at Century 21 Realty Art in Albufeira, which is really the central part of the Algarve coast. And expats attract expats. So I feel that it's already an international mix of people, and everybody accepts each other. Even the Portuguese are very friendly towards everybody coming, and it's an easy place to settle. And if you don't like it for any reason, or if you need to go back, it's also easy to resell again. So investment-wise, I think it's pretty good. Yeah.
All right, Aga. So Bente has made her case for why Central Algarve is the best destination for expats. Talk to me about Marbella.
Oh, I could talk to you about Marbella really till morning tomorrow, but of course we don't have as much time. So first of all, wonderful weather. We have more than 320 days of sunny days, yes. And we have a great potential for investment because ROE is really very high. The price is growing up about 11-15% year by year. Of course, it depends on the area. And we have also very high level of medical care, so it's very good for example, retired people. And we have also high range of international schools for kids, so we are also taking a lot of families with the kids just for this, because of this. And of course, there's some unique landscape because sea meets the mountains, so we have a lot of possibility to spend the time outside. Can you imagine that we can even ski in the same time like we can swim in the sea? There is nowhere like that, I think, yes? You can't beat this. I'm sorry.
No.
Okay, so you're in the Albufeira, right?
Yes.
Central Algarve.
Really central.
So
yeah.
for those that may not be familiar with the geography of the Algarve, would you say that the central, eastern, western Algarve each have their own personalities?
Yes, I would, definitely. Albufeira, to start with, is where you always have the good weather.
Okay.
Okay, so sometimes if you go to the west coast, if you go really to the very end, which is very popular for tourists, to go and see the cliffs going down 70 meters to the sea, it's actually a 10-degree drop sometimes, even in the summertime. But that's not beach area anyway. It's up the coast. If you go a little up the coast towards Alentejo, you have the surfer area in the Algarve. Okay. But in the central area, we have a lot of variation on the beaches. Okay, even just from Albufeira towards a town called Algarve. In that town, you still have the fishermen on the beach.
Okay.
Okay, and from Galé to there, it's like a 7-kilometer beach, which is really beautiful. And you have a nature area behind it called Salgadas, where you can take your long walks, and you have golfing area, lots of golf courts also in the whole of the Algarve. Okay, so it's a very sportive region. Albufeira has a lot of influx of tourism during the summer. Families, people who want to party, older guys who want just to have a laid-back time or go also surfing. You can do that in the region too. Okay, so it's a mix of activities and or just doing nothing, basically. And you have a lot of villages also around the area. So when you come as an expat, you don't necessarily want to be in the center of town, which changes a lot in the summertime. So it's really good to be in the outskirts or in some of the villages, and you easily get to know other people then. And, to have an everyday life, people meet up in various areas. You go down to have your coffee. You learn a lot of Portuguese at the same time. And also you meet all these different nationalities, which is what I love the most about the Algarve.
So it's a nice mixture.
It's like a melting
of,
pot.
right?
It's like really...
Because a lot of times when people think of, expat communities, you might think of an expat community where everybody's from
a certain
the
area.
United States, everybody's from Great Britain. But it sounds like this is...
In Spain you would have that a lot. But in Portugal, in the Algarve, it's not like I'm Danish, okay? And I know there's lots of Danish there, but we don't seek each other like the Swedish do, like perhaps French do. But we seek to meet different people, okay? I never think about a person's nationality, It's just that person, It's great. And I know that the Americans I've sold to already, they love that. Absolutely love it about the Algarve, yeah.
Is Marbella similar, like a mixing of cultures?
Yes, it's really mixed of every culture and every languages. So if you go to the bar and if you sit there, so you will be hearing all the languages around. And the worst thing, the bad thing is that it's difficult to learn Spanish there because everybody speaks English.
Yeah, because that is the thing, right? My feeling is if you're going to move to a country, you would want to plan to learn the language of that country because you're going to be able to get more experiences. But also some people know themselves. I say that as someone that's not 2.5 years in. I'm still learning Spanish, right? So it's easier in the struggle in Marbella. Can someone come to Albufeira with the idea that they're going to learn Portuguese, but be okay in the interim?
But it's necessary to make an effort. It's not the easiest language to learn. I can I can sign on that one, but you get there. And what I notice a lot is when I first started learning Portuguese, and I've learned it really good also through my work and all that, and taking care of my kid at school and things like that. But people are very grateful when you can know a few phrases like bom dia or obrigada, like thank you and good morning, that kind of things. And then, if you can say a few phrases, they're like, oh, you speak such good Portuguese. It encourages you to move on with it, basically. So I don't say you get perfect at it. I mean, a lot of people aren't, but they're very happy when people can speak a little bit.
Yeah, in Spain the same, in Marbella the same. When you start to say something like even, buenos dias or something like that, they are so happy about it. Yes, it's true.
Let's talk budget. So if someone, I'm going to use €500,000. So if somebody had a budget of €500,000 to use to buy a home in Albufeira, like what options would they have?
Like in the Council of Albufeira, I'd rather speak about, because it's normally I like to show people the area and ask, what are your interests, for instance, because then I find a place according to that, where they can get the lifestyle they want to have. So I'd say you can get a small townhouse with 2 bedrooms, 1 or 2 bathrooms in a condo and then you would look at like 460. Okay, euros. Okay. And of course you have the taxes and expense for lawyers and things like that on top, so that would take you to the 500-ish area. Yeah. Okay. But then you get a nice thing. It's okay. Yeah. There's not a lot of that kind of product around, but it's possible to find that. Yeah.
And so give me a rundown of like what's your average sales price?
It's around that. The average is around that, but it's growing at the moment. So I think 700.
Okay, so if somebody wanted,
it's very popular. Also, budget 700,000-800,000, and that again takes you to the 850
Yeah.
because of the taxes. Okay, but that will get you a really nice house. Yeah.
Okay. Marbella, is 500,000 possible?
Maybe the Golden Mile, not of course,
Okay.
but Marbella Center, like that's possible, of course.
Yeah.
And this 500,000, it's enough to have a 2 beds apartment, a walking distance to the beach, or something like even small house or townhouse a bit farther from the coast. And you have to know that to buy the house in Marbella, it's not only like to spend this 500,000 for having something. You have to also remember that this is like a potential of investment. Yeah. So you can rent it very easily because there's really high demands for short-term rentals and also for long-term rentals. So, for example, for such a apartment which cost you 500,000, you can really very easily to get 350 per night in high season. Yes, wow. And in the long term, you can have it like in short term, you will have the price for 1 week, and during the same price you will get for the long period in 1 month. Yes, it's like a 4 times difference between short-term rentals and long-term rentals. Okay, and also the price growing every month or every year around the minimum 11%. So you can, think about this. Yes. Not just to have a house in the sun on the beach or something like that in the nice environment, but also to have like to save your money.
So yeah, an
From
investment.
inflation, yes.
Now, looking at Marbella in the same way of like the central, eastern, western Algarve, do you find a lot of people come to Marbella and then also consider moving towards Estepona or Malaga? Do you sell in the regions to the east and the west, or do you stay
Yes, I'm
just
selling
right
a
in
lot
Marbella?
all over the coast, to be honest, from Mijas till Casares, Manilva even. Yes, so it's a really long coast to cover by my service, but I'm
And do most expats prefer to be close to the water, close to the beach, or go up into the hills and have the more spectacular views?
This depends on personality of the people, because some of them, of course, they like to be close to the beach, so they can even to not rent a car and just to be, to be very close to everything, like to restaurants, to be able to go to the dinner without taking a car or cab, something like that. But some of them, of course, they prefer to be with nature, more in mountain, with a spectacular view on the sea. So it really depends on the people.
Okay, so let's talk about affordability. So right now, as I understand things, mortgages are available in both Spain and Portugal in the high 2s to low 3% range. And at the time of the recording here, that's in comparison to the United States, where 30-year fixed are probably going to be in the higher 6%, lower 7% range. How do property taxes compare? So what would be the annual tax bill for a roughly €500,000 home?
Yes, so it's not the purchase price that determines the tax. It's actually the value that the finance department has in their document, which is called a cadeneta technically. And it has nothing to do with commercial values. So in the Albufeira, in the region of Albufeira, the central region, it's 0.3% per year of that rate. So if you're looking at a property, okay, it can be anything from 500 per year till 1,200 per year, probably, in that region per year. And then you have the condo fees on top, which is anything from 80 to 200 euros, depending on the condominium. Okay.
But if we're looking at just
it's very affordable, the taxes, yeah.
A direct comparison, 500 to 1,200 per year versus you might pay that per month or more in a lot of states. How about Marbella?
Marbella is the same like in Portugal, to be honest, because it also doesn't depend on the market price of the property. It depends on the cadastral value. Okay. And this is something like 1.1, I think, percentage. And this is also depends on the location and about the areas, because, for example, in Marbella, of course, this tax will be higher than, for example, in Estepona. So it will be like around, in Estepona, around 500 per year, and in Marbella and San Pedro, Puerto Banús, something about 1,000, 1,500 per year.
Those are the good news. So that's the dramatically lower. Let's talk about the dramatically higher part, which is going to be the upfront tax. So that's what you pay when you buy, right?
Yeah.
Am I safe to say you're both going to be in the 7 to 9% range in terms of
A little
upfront
bit lower
taxes?
in Portugal.
Okay, a little bit lower.
It's like a scale. It's a calculation you have to do.
Okay.
Around 500. So if you buy at 465, and including lawyers and everything, you will hit the 500.
Okay.
Mark.
Now, what if you buy at $1 million?
At $1 million, then it's 6% flat. Yeah.
That's
for Algarve. How about for Marbella?
In Marbella, we have 7% of tax, ITP, we call it, on the resales market. And if you are buying something off plan, you have to pay 10% of VAT.
Okay. So that's 10% for a new property, 7% for resale.
Yes.
Okay, so I bring all this up because there is some math involved in buying a home in both Spain or Portugal. Upfront costs are higher, the carrying costs are lower, both because the interest rates for the time being, at the time of our recording, dramatically lower, and then the property taxes are dramatically lower. And so all you do is just divide the two. I think you'll find in most cases probably a 4 to 6 year break-even point. And then once you crash through that break-even point, it's dramatically less expensive to own a home in Spain or Portugal. Okay, so Bente,
Yes.
I'm an expat. I'm visiting Albufeira,
Yes.
and you have 24 hours to sell me on why that's the region. Like, what are the go-to activities that you would introduce me to make sure that I just fall in love with the Central Algarve?
Okay. Do you like parties or do you like soft? Okay.
I like parties.
You like parties. Okay. So first I have to tie you a little bit. So you have to go to the beach and take a dive. Definitely.
Okay.
I will show you some very great beaches. And my personal favorite is the beach of Gale.
Okay.
And where we also have the full moon parties in the summertime.
Oh, wow.
A huge full moon party. It's really nice. So, and also there, they have the beautiful beach restaurants with amazing fresh fish and the clams and everything you want under the sun. Really,
and you eat
really
right
great.
on the beach?
You read they have these beach restaurants practically all over the Algarve coast.
Okay. 24 hours in Marbella.
Oh my gosh, it's really a lot of possibilities. So I have to know you better a bit.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to the full moon party. Yeah.
Okay. So at the beginning, I would take you on the old town for walk, to have some tapas on the Plaza Naranjos, and then we could go for swimming in the sea. And later on, I would take you, for example, in the Golden Mile, to have a dinner enjoying the sunset on some rooftop bars, and things like that. Later on, I could take you in, for example, the area of Puerto Banús, on the Puente Romano. There is a lovely restaurants with live music and amazing shows with the girls, with fires, They are really performing everything, you can find there everything what you want.
I think the key is you have to look at a home in both Marbella and the Algarve to truly get a scope for it. All right, this sounds great. If you are curious to learn more about the Algarve or about Marbella, you know where to reach me. This Iberian Life, I would love to connect you with the right agent in each of the region. All of our contact information is on the screen right now. All of our social media. So I'd love for you to follow Aga and Bente, and I look forward to helping you figure out your Iberian life. That's what we're here for. Yeah. Thank you so much for the conversation today.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.